everyone's job is changing. Everyone. And let's
Mm-hmm.
be honest, Tobias Harris shouldn't be shooting 20 shots at the NBA level anyway. Okay. But
Facts.
We can agree there.
Yeah, I
the
agree with
reason you
that.
could win with him was the people who Harden replaced, i.e. Ben Simmons, as though I think he's soft as cupcakes. He's a 6'9" above average defender. So what'd you have? And he didn't want to shoot. So what'd you have? Inside out, pass, 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 wide open three. That's
Mm-hmm.
why
Yeah.
little Curry can play there. That's why some of these other guys can, Cox and these other guys can play at Philly, because they pass, pass, pass. Well, now you're going to have a situation when you start Brooklyn. You saw it everywhere else he's been. What happens? Pass, pass, hold. Pass, pass, 12 Euro steps, turnover. I don't understand where we get off thinking that, no, James Harden is just, he is what he is. You're saying he's more locked in. You might be correct, but
Philly had
he
16
can't be
assists
more
though. Like,
locked in.
Yeah. He's
But that's
averaging
what James
6
Harden
How many
normally
turnovers?
does,
a
though.
year.
Okay, I'm with you. Against the Knicks. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's true
saying. It's
too.
like,
Yeah,
it's like,
that's fair. Yeah.
okay,
but
yeah.
See, the
this
Nets
is
came
the
out and
fate.
beat the Bucks
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
with
thing
no Ben
is
Simmons.
that, yeah,
All
and the
cheated.
thing is that, what about them? Like, it's, you got it. It's one of those fatal flaws with sports bettors. Also, a lot of times people want to bet on one person or two people, but who are they playing? And when you look at James
Yeah.
Harden here, he's playing the Knicks. Who was guarding him? Probably an undersized guard. It wasn't R.J. Barrett the whole game. It wasn't,
I think it was
the Knicks are,
Burks.
the Knicks are
Yeah.
working through a lot of players. So at the end of the day, like, okay, I'm with you. James Harden may be locked in, because if he's not locked in and they don't win the championship, and I agree with all of you guys, I thought they were on the way to Eastern Conference Finals with just Embiid, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if now you bring
Yeah.
Harden on and they don't even get to the finals, like, is that a success? No. You gave up younger guys, yes. You gave up Ben Simmons, which, okay, good, bad, and different. You might have got. I mean, there was talk about them getting John Morant for Ben Simmons before the season, right?
Mhm.
Is this a better trade than John Morant for Ben Simmons? I would say absolutely not. And
Yeah, probably not.
To touch back on the Kyrie thing, Kyrie's a unique talent. James
Mhm.
Harden no longer is. How many guys do we have now? Euro stepping through the league, has he step back three?
Yeah,
Like,
we
there's a
got we
lot of
got Joel Embiid now doing it.
yeah,
So
there's a lot of them. And hey, guess what? They play defense. I'm just saying. I think it's a red herring that he played mediocre defensive teams, and I think when you get closer to the playoffs, and especially in the playoffs, Greg, I agree with your point. 7 games, can you beat a team? I like that point, because I think the playoffs, your bench gets a little shorter and stuff like that. But the question's going to be, I think the only way they get there is, to your point, Greg, if he plays well in the playoffs and him and Embiid can get other teams in foul trouble, then you might have something. But outside of that, outside of like a really kind of awkward foul trouble type stuff, I think overall Harden just won't be it. I think
Wait, let
they
me ask
don't
you
even get.
something. So if they just end up losing, like let's say they end up losing to either the Nets or the Bucks, like in 7 or something like that,
Mhm.
then you think the season's a failure, or you just think whatever, try again next year?
Well, failure, you guys are talking about young guys. Philly did a great job developing their young guys this year.
Yeah.
They did an amazing job. And guess what?
Actually,
Now, per 36 minutes for those young guys are going to a dude who wears a bodysuit. So, so what I'm saying is, when you get to the playoffs, like, if we just went around the table here and we asked, like, all right, quick reaction: are the Sixers beating the Bulls?
I think
Are the
it'll be a
Sixers?
tough
I think
game. I think it's a tough matchup.
that's a
The way
tough
Tough,
one.
right?
DeMar, we can't ignore the way DeMar and Levine is playing together, because that was a question too I want to get to. Are we saying, all right, James Harden and Embiid is going to win the championship? Yo, what about the camaraderie aspect of DeRozan and Levine actually getting some time together under their belt? What are they
What
like?
about?
What is their role looking like?
I mean,
You
I
don't
like
think
them
they're
on offense, but how are they going?
Yeah.
How are they going to guard
Hold on,
Embiid?
stop. Alex
Yeah.
Caruso.
I love Alex Caruso.
He
Yeah.
will lock
Caruso's
down
good.
Harden. And then once you lock down Harden and he
you make
doesn't
it a
play
1-man game?
defense, you can get up on Embiid. So then
Mm-hmm.
go to the
I
next
agree.
team. What about the Bucks? The Bucks have the size to compete with the Sixers. They can play with Harden. Okay, that's another one. One that is kind of for me that I'm like on the outside looking in. I still believe in the Nets. I think the Nets could beat the Sixers
Yeah,
because
they
you
just have to
can't
get it
guard
together.
Durant. No one can guard Durant. I stopped arguing against that train years ago when I think
True.
LeBron could guard Durant. No one can guard Durant.
It's true.
This is
Antetokounmpo
His
couldn't
game
guard
is just so
Durant.
effortless.
I mean, it's
this is my
unbelievable.
only problem with the Nets is you bring up all that stuff about James Harden. What about all that stuff about Kyrie Irving?
Well,
So,
Kyrie, what are you talking about?
everywhere
Kyrie
he's
Irving about to
been.
be able to play. Kyrie
Yeah,
Irving about
well-
to
Yeah,
be able
but
to play full
everywhere he's
time. So
been,
if Kyrie
problems
come
have
back full
followed him.
time, Kyrie come back full time,
Look in
and the Nets go
Cleveland. He couldn't
further
make it
than-
work.
Troy,
with
you
LeBron.
love Kyrie.
He
You
couldn't
love
make it work
Kyrie.
with LeBron.
If the Kyrie gets full time, right? If Kyrie comes back full time, KD come back, and Ben doesn't even play, right? Let's say Ben don't play the playoffs rest of this season. Kyrie and KD, I'm taking over and beating James Harden. Why? Because they understand each other. They can effortlessly play off of each other, and Kyrie has such deep of a bag that I don't know who stops him on the Maxey not shutting him down, getting torched. Tybull's getting torched by Kyrie.
I'm
So
taking.
that's what I'm saying. Who's
Kevin
stopping
Durant
KD
over
on that
both
team?
players.
Who's
Yeah,
stopping
no, I
KD on
agree.
that team?
Kevin
He gonna put a
Durant.
heat on him. He gonna cook him.
But how is it that we can bring up all this stuff about Harden, but then be like, "Oh, it's not a big deal"?
No, because we used to talk about Kyrie already. We used to talk about Kyrie. Why are we going to bring the Kyrie slander back up when we talk about it already? Everybody talks about the Kyrie slander. Nobody talks about the cancer James Harden is. Nobody talks about
I
the
mean, they're both got their issues.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
I hate Kyrie, but you can't replicate Kyrie.
No, that's true.